is throwing out here, at what point are you going to be worried for Nouns?
If they don't contest second Roshan. If they give away like 2 Roshans for free and they're just still in that kind of farm state, then they probably could have a lot of
But they can
problems.
give 1.
Yeah, 1's fine. You give up tier 2s, but like they need to have all the tools when, you know, BB are expected to be barreling into your high ground around, you know, maybe 25 minutes or so, yeah.
It seems very scary to deal with. You feel like they can do it?
On side of Nouns?
Yeah?
Yeah, but this game needs to be slightly later, I would say.
Okay, let's find out what's going to happen in game number 1 of this best of 3. We're heading over first to Milan, who's going to be talking to Nomad.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, indeed. Milan, I mean, they've gone very comfort on the side of BetBoom. What do you think about that?
I think that's their style. We expected a lot of heroes that they picked. Like their team that tries their guts, they had ups and downs, but they have been like sort of stable team throughout the season. Like they had bad results, but you know, these players are high MMR, they believe in what they do, and I think it's good what they took. It should be, but we try to counter it and we'll see what happens.
All right, and what's your mentality like after your loss yesterday? You know, how are you coming into this one?
I think
30 seconds to battle.
In the playoff against Spirit and Gaming kind of showed us that we can play against anybody because we beat the TI champions and we had a close showing versus RIA champions. So I think we can play against anybody, but it's mostly about us. If we play well, then we have a good shot. It doesn't matter who is the opponent.
Thank you very much. Best of luck in the game. And now we're going to throw it over to our casters, which for this one will be Sunsfan and Synderen.
Thank you very much, Nomad, as we have this best of 3 underway between Nouns and BB team. Already a Boundless Strike on to save. He will survive on that glorious horse of his. Synderen, what do you think of this matchup?
Oh, hang on. Did they get 4 bounty runes? Oh boy, that's not... sorry, that didn't really answer your question, but that's a pretty rare thing at this level, that one team manages to get all 4. I was like, how did BB just get a 1k net worth lead here? And well, on top of that, they also have 250 extra gold in the Alchemist, so they're off to a good start. The matchup itself, I think the panel was pretty spot on. You know, the lineup of BB here can play extremely fast if the laning stage goes well, so Nouns need to be careful with not getting rolled over. However, we did see a similar situation in one of their games against Gaming Gliders yesterday, where they managed to do exactly that with some good early movements to solve the problem in that individual game. So they've shown that they are capable of playing against high pace, and if their own lanes go in a stable manner, should be an exciting game.
Yeah, and I think Nouns, despite losing their last series, I feel like feels like they're on the up and up, right? They have a lot of momentum. I think a lot of people were counting them out, and then BB team on the other side, they're struggling with the same issues that have plagued them from time immemorial, Synderen, even with Pure on the team. Apparently getting rid of him doesn't change anything. In fact, he's on Tundra and he's destroying right now. But it feels like they always come in with a lead and you just never feel confident that they're going to bring it home, you know? It's just such a strange thing to happen over a 2-year period for the same team.
Yeah, the thing is, if they ever figure that out, they will be
the best in the world, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Legitimately.
This is a team whose Achilles heel is
under attack.
How to say, losing an important game and then spiraling. And the way they lose that important game will most often be from a very advantageous position where they just mess something up and drop the ball and then don't recover. That's definitely been a bit of a mentality problem, I would say, for them is the main thing for the better part of a year. But the good news for them is, in the last series, the one against Talon that they played earlier, they lost game 2 after being really far ahead, and then they stomped them in game 3. Yeah. So in that series, they showed that resilience, the ability to reset completely.
You would think over time, throwing that many leads away, you kind of get used to it, and you build a resistance of sorts.
Yeah, it does sound like an interesting scientific study. How I need to get some papers written on this.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of damage being applied to BB team here in this bot lane. Better be careful with that Monkey King. That is a hero that can absolutely take off.
Oh, big damage save.
Boundless Strike onto save. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire, so we'll survive.
So what we didn't talk about, they showed prior to the game during the draft, they showed that every single Chen so far in this tournament, I think, has started with the summon convert of the Satyr. And this game is no exception. So Chen, at his whim, can just summon a mana burning creep, effectively. And that is arguably, in most cases, the most lane-focused creep you can have. So obviously the reason why you take it save.
Yeah.
Blinding light, but
Eventually,
didn't
it
miss.
does happen.
Today.
So what's the blind chance again on level? It's 40% on all levels, so... Okay,
And the fact that he gets that kill without even
Radiant's bottom
Jingu as a
tower
skill
is
on
under
the
attack.
yeah.
pretty interesting. I mean, that just goes to show how amazing Tree Dance is with this facet. It is. We already talked about it the other day, but unbelievably good. As we're going to see a concoction onto Gunnar with the acid spray and the blood grenade on top. He is taking a lot of damage, and that should finish him off. So
He's a goner.
tying the game 1-1. Very good joke.
Fly will try to open up the small camp here. Interested in finding his way to some pulls. So as the panel was talking about, the Chen versus Beastmaster match was a classic counter pick, and it should give a very good start to Yuma. That kill on the Caudal, I think, was honestly unexpected, given the circumstances. You said there was no Jingu, and Chen's creep was actually dead, but they just barely scraped by and got that. So that's the good news here for Nouns. Aside from that, mid lane is pretty much a wash between the Invoker and the Razor. I think that's the expected outcome on that one. And then, well, since Alchemist has started being able to just start with 250 extra gold and then got 4 bounty runes, I think Gunnar is not expected to win this lane.
Yeah, I would say so. Probably accurate.
But he's tied with Beast. So I guess from the side of Noun so far, it's looking okay, and I think BB team are very happy as well.
Right, and we've been seeing this build on Centaur pretty much every game that I've seen, where they don't even bother with double edge until probably this next level here. Actually, maybe even not. It's typically the level 3 and Retaliate to be able to farm consistently, which means you're just not going to be getting kills. And it's all about survivability and eventual farm.
I think it's the right mindset as well, that you're never going to be in a position to play this lane aggressively until Razor rotates, and that will be a while, so play for yourself. This is the selfish Centaur build, basically.
Now he's got Jingu. Miero has to be careful. Save is there with blinding light just in time.
It looked like he was about to go for one more swing as he got blinded away, but just barely outranged there, but he's going to try again.
Yeah, he's trying.
Yuma's hungry.
Miero tries to cut down the trees. That was a good attempt. Blood Grenade going to slow him down a bit. 3 stacks of Jingu on Miero.
Jeez, he is in
There's
there.
the Boundless activated. Not enough to get the kill, but still. Miero is really hurting here.
He knows the limits. He likes playing on 5% health for 10 seconds straight, apparently.
Yep.
Well, he didn't die, so...
Yet.
Yes, that is correct. We'll be stacking up his Ancient Hero to a triple stack on the Beastmaster. Obviously, one of the... This is something BB team have done a very good job at. They also were putting a lot of emphasis on this when they played the Caudal Storm game earlier today. Tons of stacks. And this time it's both Save as well as Miero making stacks in 2 different camps. We'll see if Nouns, arguably with the best invasion hero in Dota right now in that Monkey King, will try to deal with that at all, if they're able to.
Arguably.
Yeah?
Is it an argument?
Where are you going?
You could make a case for a hero like Storm, you know. If you have vision, you can always...
Copy.
He's
going to get punished really hard by BB team. And
GPK
Miero
with a celebratory
Jingu
tornado.
stack.
He was trying to KS it, but Saika hit too hard. Unfortunately for him, his carry gets the kill. A very sad outcome, of course.
Yep, very sad.
If you're a mid hero, you want everything.
Mind Flare is the biggest quality of life to Nyx in the history of Dota. I'll say that right now. This hero can farm anytime now. What do you think of the current Nyx in the meta?
I think the hero's really good. I think he's significantly underpicked in this tournament. He makes a lot of sense as a counterpick to Ench, of course, which is why they ran it. But I believe the win rate of it that we saw was quite good, but number of games was very low. I suppose the main problem teams are facing is if you don't pick this into specifically Ench or Chen, maybe your laning is just too weak and compensating for it gets too hard. But that said, I still think it's reliable a lot of the time, and especially we're seeing the rise of Invoker, right? This hero was not played particularly much in the first few days of the tournament. Now he's starting to really see play. Sunstrike plus Nyx can kill any hero on the map. Yeah. It's even better than it used to be because Nyx now, as a support, reliably goes Dagon and does a lot more damage with Mind Flare. So if you remember back in the day what kills you could find with Nyx Invoker, you can almost add 50% to the health of heroes you can kill. So I don't know, perhaps that's the strategy we'll see teams run later on if they can get the laning to work.
Yeah, that's always been his issue, is the laning. But you just don't lane now. You just go jungle. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, why is Pudge not being played in this? My goodness. What a great hero.
Waiting for Boxy to run his signature I'm leaving lane minute 2 and going jungle play.
That was epic.
They crushed that game.
Indeed.
GPK. Cover of his Ghost Walk right now. Might be going through the gate, but he's going to run into Fly the other way around. Yuma on the trees as well. The EMP already being shown, as Sly will likely just be sacrificed. He actually dies to a neutral creep, and instead all the damage being applied to Mr. Nightfall. He's getting all this regen, but it's not enough. He will drop.
Nice.
Unfortunately for Nouns, though, I think they're going to lose both cores in Yuma and Gunner in the process.
War has
So they lose
come to
3 heroes,
Radiant's
although again,
bottom
1
tower.
denied by neutrals.
Yeah, this was, the panel didn't talk about this, but a really big upside to Stampede is that you, as Chen, you can just Stampede
Radiant's
right
bottom
into the neutral
tower
camp
is
and
under
die.
attack.
That apparently was important there. Oh, he just
Got it.
narrowly dodges every spell there on Lelis.
Very nice.
Much like
Yeah,
cordwood
good
before
defensive play there
Axe's
from
axe.
BB team, really
Dire's
covering up
top
their
tower
Alchemist
is under attack.
in this safe lane. Which is going to be necessary. This is a textbook Nouns play.
Oh, Lelis.
Well, he dodged every spell and then he walked back into them. Oh well.
Yeah, well, he wasn't expecting Banana Boat team to come back into the triangle area, so they stuck around.
Yep. It's yeah, I was gonna say Nouns. I think one of the things they did really well against Game of Gladiators in the game that they won in that
Radiant's
series
middle
was
tower
rotating
is
from the
under
safe lane through the
attack.
gate. And I think BB team have prepared for this. They've studied the movements that Nouns like to go for, and they were exceptionally ready for that rotation. They were already in position when Chen came through, as you said, and they were the ones to make the first move instead. Now that's probably not
10-minute rune.
Okay.
Looks like it'll be
Dyer's
popped
middle tower
as the
is
haste is
under
bottled
attack.
by Copy. Tornado already used from GPK, so he won't have a way to actually dispel this haste if they want to try to run at him, but it's a tall order at this point of the game. Looks like he's going for the Witchblade on Invoker, while Gunner Blade Mail this time around, which a lot of time we've been seeing, we've talked about this before, but the Blade Mail against heroes with the uncontrollable outburst of damage, such as Windrunner.
Yep.
Not really seeing that here, like, unless you want to count Enchantress late game, I guess.
Something we haven't really talked about that item is it's also a farming item on Centaur. Right?
Dyer's top tower is under
You farm
attack.
faster, you get bigger throughout the game. It adds some utility in certain situations in team fights. It makes you a less appealing target in general. But I would agree, this is not the best game for it that we've seen. But it just goes to show, I think every game of Centaur we've cast this tournament, the player has got Blade Mail. So maybe it's just that good that the circumstances don't even really matter. And you just do grab this first, and then you have the 2 build paths with either being a mega tank with auras, or you get the dagger, or both, of course, if you're having a good enough game. And yeah, Gunner is doing all right. This is a very even game for all intents and purposes, especially considering the
middle
Dire started
tower
with
is
4
under
bounty runes.
attack.
They
Oh,
haven't
boy.
really converted that
Gonna
to
run right
more.
into the center if he comes to the low ground.
Dyer's bottom
Very
tower
close to
is
being
under
spotted.
attack.
Quite.
Right on the outskirts.
Haste.
And Chen is doing
Definitely-
Chen things, pushing this tower, trying to force rotation, but BB team are not overreacting.
I mean, for a Nyx assassin, who's your? I mean, obviously you're going to need assistance from your team to get a kill, but who can you kill at this stage of the game with a Vendetta +1?
I think Nyx plus Monkey King can absolutely kill the Caudal and the Ench, I think. Should be possible kills. The rest, probably a little bit too tanky and too much counterplay.
Yeah.
I guess with Alchemist, it's also a little bit down to luck with his Talisman of Evasion. As that gets turned into a Radiance, it gets a bit more reliable.
Rewarded.
But, oh, Gunner is gonna poke Psych up here. Just actually will bait out the Chemical Rage. Use that for anything though. Miro.
Oh, Copy's going to be found. Primal split. The Hand of God to keep him a little bit safer. He's going to try to fight this through. The Stampede is going to follow through though. And now the cover of Fly is there. They're going to turn everything on the Miero instead. So a nice turnaround for Nouns. You can see Yuma looking for additional kills here. GPK casually walk away. That's now a Maelstrom for Yuma.
Yeah, this is a funny dynamic, the Chen versus Invoker.
Axe
Just
of
kind of
Dev's
offset
carnage
each other,
underway
right? They were
at
expecting that
Radiant's
Sunstrike
top
to be enough to
tower.
get that kill, but then Hand of God heals basically the exact amount that the Sunstrike does. And then you're back to square one with, could Beastmaster have soloed that Razor? Clearly not. There was even an Illuminate over top, but there's level 1.
And now the stacking. I mean, this should be very obvious
Radiant's
that this is
middle
going to
tower
happen
is under
at some
attack.
point in the game. and we'll see if Nouns do anything about it. The problem is they need several heroes to deal with that. Meanwhile, Gunner is going to be ganked.
He's taking many wounds.
No stampede.
Yeah, Concoction is coming for him as well. This is going to be a very easy cleanup for the battle bots.
There is that kid. There we go. All right, GPK don't miss twice.
Oh, meanwhile, Yuma,
skill.
he does actually disrupt this Ancient stack a bit. Uses his Wukong's command. Not going to lead to an initial kill. Not sure how many creeps they ended up stealing.
Radiant's top
He's
tower
fast.
is under
He's got that
attack.
vendetta facet.
Go through terrain.
Save.
Just going for the kill.
Oh, faking out
Dire
twice.
structures
Mindsetter wasn't
can take all
enough,
the
but
hurt
hey,
Radiant
you can
cares
get
to
your
heap
Monkey
upon
King a
it.
kill at this stage, and maybe the 14-minute wisdom as well. It looks like it'll be a trade, though.
Yeah.
Dire's
scanning it out just
bottom
to double
tower
check.
is under attack. Radiant's top tower
I wonder what the
is
ratio
under
is
attack.
in the games in this tournament between the 14-minute wisdoms. How many you've taken on your side and how many on
Radiant
the other?
found the weakness
I feel like the
in
7-minute
Dire's
ones,
bottom tower.
the teams
It
get their
turns
own.
out, if you
And
hit it enough,
Anecdotally,
it
I
will
would say
fall.
on the 14-minute one, there's more trades on the opposite side than you being on your own side.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a natural part of the movement out on the map with your first aggressive moves that you're likely to play around the other side, but it's kind of interesting to see that that's been a development, because this didn't used to be the case a month ago.
Yeah, and Wisdom Runes have been extremely powerful, especially the first two, for many months now.
Yep.
So it is interesting to see kind of a late development to this TI. As Blink getting pretty close for Gunner. As you can see, Miero has his Aghanim Scepter now, so the Drums of Slom online.
Very fitting for a BB Team Beastmaster to get the Bongo Bongo Ags.
Radiant's top tower
Makes a
is
lot of
under
sense.
attack.
They are Beastmaster believers.
Through that. One of the teams that play it the most, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
it's been a pretty strong hero. I feel like it must have a good win rate at this time. See Nightfall with the Radiance, and going to be going for the Manta into eventual AC. So not
Radiant's
opting for
bottom
a
tower
blink,
is under
it seems, at
attack.
least not yet. Do you think that's something that is going to be for the Beastmaster? Looks like that will be, actually.
Well, he is queuing on up on Alk.
50% win rate. That's actually surprising. It feels like it's been better.
I think getting Dagger on both heroes actually makes a ton of sense this game. You could argue that you could bypass one of them because you have a Quaswex Invoker, but the nature of these fights is going to be extremely explosive, so if you're the one who can...
Killing spree.
Well, that'll do.
It'll happen from time to time. Of course, you're forcing so many sentries to be built. That's what you tell your team in the pubs as Nyx Assassin.
This is his second death in 16 minutes.
Nah,
That's
he's doing fine.
completely
Absolutely.
fine for Nyx.
And I think this facet that they take these days, where you can walk through terrain for the
Dire's
first 10
middle
or so
tower
seconds,
is
has
under
been
attack.
enormous for the hero.
Yeah,
Now you can
because-
come in from weird angles.
Not only that, but because it gives you flat move speed, right? It just sets your move speed to haste. Nyx can choose not to buy boots, which is what's happening here, right?
Yeah.
So Lelis is going 2 nulls into straight Dagon.
Looks like Nouns want to try to contest this. They're going to Boundless Strike onto the Beastmaster. The Impale to follow. He's dead. Down goes Miero as Save is being chased by Copy,
The
showing
red
that
mist
newly
spreads
minted
at Radiant's middle
BKB.
tower.
Nightfall does get off the concoction, though, as
Safe.
Lelis should be able to
Toast.
finish this himself just with a casual right click from the
Radiant's
Vendetta.
middle tower
Nice
is
job from
under
Nouns
attack.
capitalizing on the attempted Roche take, it looked like, from Beyond Burger Team.
Yeah, and they're going to steal it
Dire's
too.
top tower is under
So-
attack.
This is the biggest play of the game here. T was talking about on the panel how Nouns, yeah, you can give up the first Roche, but you
Radiant's
absolutely need the
middle
second one.
tower is
How about
under
you just
attack.
steal the first one?
Radiant structures are
sounds good to
fortified
me.
with
Easy
12
peasy.
important vitamins and minerals.
Leipnir online for the Monkey
Into
King
the
as well, as
Radiant.
Copy's going to show himself mid. Will get tornadoed for his troubles. BB team now kind of on the defensive,
Much
it
like
seems.
Cordwood before Axis
Despite having this
Axe,
very
Dire's
aggressive
top
lineup. I mean, just
tower
looking at
is
it.
under attack. Dire
You
structures
got the
are
Beastmaster,
fortified.
Enchantress, activator of the
Dire's
Coddle,
top
obviously
tower
Invoker.
is under
Depends on how
attack.
you build it, but then Alk, kind of a hero that wants to farm at the early stage, but then ramps up really fast. So we have a TP in from Miero.
Nice react.
Quick blink from Gunner.
Yeah.
This
So-
tower might get denied.
The thing is, if you look at BB teams, the way this team approaches fights, you're saying it's aggressive, and it comes from the nature of, okay, Beastmaster's going to find a flank with a Roar, or Invoker's going to come out of Ghostwalk and start the fights, but something that Nouns have really accomplished with their draft is they're making it difficult to find skirmishes on your terms. You're always paranoid about an invisible Nyx. There's always Monkey King that can be sitting in the trees. Shen's creeps are constantly pushing out waves at like low risk and high reward. So while it is an aggressive lineup, the way this usually works is that you take over a part of the map and then you constrict the enemy team. But they haven't been able to do it. They've taken 1 tower, minute 18. So I think that doesn't really fit the bill for what this lineup was hoping to do at this point. I think if I'm Nouns, I'm pretty satisfied with still having 2 tier 1s up at this point. And if they can keep defending them a little bit longer, they're starting to approach some really nice timings. Now Yuma's going to get his shard plus Gleipnir completed on the Monkey King. Centaur is halfway to the pipe. And Shen's Greaves.
Spike Carapace can always stun Nightfall because of the Radiance.
Yeah.
Did not opt to use it there. Would have been a tough kill either way, as we're going to see the Tornado.
Nice damage onto Copy.
Into the Chaos Meteor. Not enough for a kill as Lelis.
They want to dive though. They see Lelis.
He is spotted. That's a very tanky Invoker right now, and Lelis slowed to a crawl next to the Solar Bind. Yuma's coming up with the Gleipnir. Has his Wukong's command. Beautiful Boundless Strike onto 2 as well. They get 1. Looks like they'll get the second support as well. Although the force staff to the other side, the Ice Wall, slowing them as well. Miero actually in no man's land, focusing everything on this Monkey King. Now GPK and Nightfall are there to assist. The Aegis is down. Concoction hits 2. The axes will continue to be thrown out. Yuma with the shard already, it seems. Will go to the end of the Boundless Strike to disengage completely. So in the end, it's an Aegis for 2 supports.
Oh, is it over though? Lelis is scouting. I mean, his teammates are relatively far away. I guess they don't really have anyone who can smoke up and connect on this, but Lelis is still hounding him. Seems like he has some sort of plan, but that kill isn't really possible.
No.
All right, he's literally just scouting. Nobody cares.
He has a Dagon, but yeah, these 2 targets are without a +1. It's not happening.
So Lelis with a very interesting inventory right now. 2
on a sentry. Tornadoed up. And they dust just for good measure. Lelis heals up a bit with the Dagon, but it's not happening. BB team all over that.
Also fortunate enough on him to find Whisper of the Dread, which is easily the best neutral item you can possibly get on Nyx. Getting the extra mana pool, but of course the 8% spell damage amp is incredible on this hero. See if it makes a difference at some point. But yeah, BB team, they stabilize once again. And as with most Alchemist games, this is going to become a matter of, do you hit your stride in the next 10 minutes when Alk is, in theory, generally peaking over enemy cores? Because I don't think this is a game where Alk ultra late. This hero has become better, for sure. It used to be very polarizing. It's like either you win by minute 40 or you lose most of the time. Now that Alk scales better, I still think his core matchups in this game are really rough. Razor is tough, Monkey King is a very rough one later on, and as you mentioned, Spike Carapace is actually a really big problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the, like, back in the day before, I got to hold that thought. Tormentor will be taken out. I don't think Nouns are going to stick around here. Fly will get the shard, although Psycha, Mr. Nightfall, will jump in and they get 2 kills. BB team ready for that. As Copy's going to have to BKB and run away. That is really unfortunate for Nouns, and now a little bit of momentum for Bowling Ball team.
Yeah, that's a good hit.
Top tower is under attack.
Sure, they do get the Tormentor themselves. They would have been even better if BB were 10 seconds earlier, but still, I think they're very happy with this. They're going to convert into Tier 2, and this is what I was looking for from their team. I was saying 3 minutes ago that they'd only taken 1 tower. Well, guess what? If you take a tower per minute now, you'll catch up pretty quickly. They've got 4 down now.
Yeah, momentum definitely on BB team's side. Of course, 3K lead with an Alchemist. Who knows what that means these days?
True.
And Nouns definitely still in the game. And yeah, back to that Nyx conversation. I mean, back in the day, Cinderin, Nyx was basically picked as a counter to Radiance heroes to force them to buy something else, or Batrider. That was like his identity. That's it.
And Ember.
Yeah, true. Ember was also a good one. So with the Flame Guard.
And Puck. And Storm.
Several heroes, quite good. Fly remembers this time.
He was actually good against OD as well, and sometimes you picked it against Lina too.
Okay, keep going. Don't stop now.
But yeah,
okay, gets the tornado off on the Copy. Cold snap into the Ice Wall. Man, he just cannot go anywhere.
All right, the pace is really picking up now. This is when Nouns need to keep their calm and find some sort of move as a team. Otherwise, BB is going to keep doing this to them. Because now that BB team are owning 2/3 of the map, this is the true challenge that I think Nouns did a really good job delaying until this point, but now it's coming for them. So what are you going to do? Are you going to take the fight head on? Are you going to try to find some sort of skirmishes with Nyx plus Monkey King where you hope that they spread out at some point and you find the straggler? Maybe Alchemist is farming alone, which is the case right now with Psyche farming Ancients. That would have been an awesome time to strike with those two in a smoke. I think those are the two basic options, is doing a little ganking squad with the two of them or looking for a full-on team fight. And it looks like team fight is the name of the game here. At least they're going to smoke up 4 of them, and Razor's about to spawn.
Come on, sprites.
Well, BB team will be getting a shard to their name. It'll be save. By the way, we didn't even mention, he did go for the solar bind facet. The last game he did go for recall, but that was
specifically with Storm.
Yeah, Storm Spirit specialty.
Much like cordwood before axe is axe.
I don't think he will do it under any other circumstances.
Under
I think it's specifically only with that hero that Save will choose that facet. So
My thrift rewarded.
And Solar Bind is a really good ability.
Attack.
The magic resistance reduction has nice synergy with Beastmaster as well as Invoker, so he's offering a lot of burst
Dyer's top
together for
tower
them.
has fallen.
Even Alchemist benefits slightly from it, the Radiance, but... Speaking of Radiance, has any other hero this tournament bought that item than Elk?
Ooh,
I don't think I've seen it. This item has really fallen out of favor. You go back a year, we had like 10 different heroes.
Spot Lelis again.
Oh, yeah.
He gets off the spike Carapace, but it's only a matter of time before he's brought down as we hear a roar go off, and that's a dead Centaur.
Oh yeah, we've had Brewmaster by Radiance.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, basketball team is going to try to go high ground now. They have 2 kills to their name. It's a 3v5. Can Nouns defend? They're going to use the fortification. As Psyche, Mr. Nightfall, with the alacrity is something to fear.
This is just a lane. This lineup pushes stupidly fast, and yeah, as we
timing
said,
with his AC as well.
Yep. Couldn't have done it any better. There's so little margin for error when you play against Alchemist Beastmaster. In these mid-game situations, either you win the team fight, you have buybacks, or you lose your base. And now BB team can take a little bit of a chill. They can prepare for the next Roche if they want to. The early respawn is actually that's the guaranteed respawn in 2 seconds. So if they were to scout the top half right now, they are in a very dominant position to just get this Roche completely uncontested. They have awesome vision down the lane. Fly's doing his best to get some sort of control up here, but definitely not looking too great. He's together with Yuma. If Yuma gets caught here, they lose Roche. All right, they'll both TP out, so they're just conceding the area, which is effectively just giving BB a straight line to Roshan now.
Yeah, well, Yuma finally gets his BKB, so the position 1 and 2 for Nouns now have it. See how much difference that's going to make at this stage, considering they've already lost barracks at the 26-minute mark. Usually does not go well for the team that is occurring to, believe it or not, Cinderant.
I believe it. Oh, this could be big, though.
Centaur going for an Aghanim Scepter. We'll have to talk about that in a moment.
Amplify damage rune for Yuma.
They need it.
They actually need this, I think. So
they're making their way over to the north side.
One of these trees is not like the other.
Well, he's not a tree, so...
Not anymore. He was a moment ago.
Okay.
You need to pay attention when I'm saying things.
Concoction, Nightfall. He's going to try to run into the smoke. Might be stunning himself. He mantas it off, actually. Good timing. GPK stuck on a high ground. He's going to get Gleipnired. There's the Wukong's command. He gets force-staffed out of it.
On the commandants instantly.
And the Wukong's, yeah, he didn't take the other facet, so it's done.
Oh,
and
boy.
so is Fly.
Not good.
Just like that, it's a 5 versus 4. They're going to try to force this fight in the pit. A double impale into the double hoof stop with Lelis doing a ton of damage as well. Miera getting really low. Boundless strike into a double kill. CB team, they're going to use a buyback onto Mr. Nightfall. Yuma, oh boy. He's put inside the pit, and it looks like this will be the death of him. So BB team having to expend a buyback, but they still end up winning the fight in a way, and they'll secure second Roche.
Yeah, that's why they call the buyback team.
That's right.
They will get this Aegis onto Psyche. That was, honestly, that was a really good outcome for Nouns with how that started. I thought they were just going to get wiped. They threw Wukong's command out for nothing. Chen died first. So they're missing some of the auras in the fight as well. And then they still managed to get a really nice chaining of stuns.
Gunnar, don't die. We need to see the workhorse before the game is over. I beg of you.
He is
Gonna pop the pipe.
not
Slow
looking
to
too
a
hot.
crawl. He's dead. What's that?
He's not looking too hot.
Yeah, it's not good.
Maybe he is looking.
Oh boy, Beach Boys team is really on a roll in this game number 1. But hey, we talked about this early game, Cinderin. If there's any team that will throw away a gigantic lead, it's this team.
I need to see this one before I believe it.
Axe observes carnage underway at
They're gonna try to go
Radiant's
high
top
ground
tower.
for barracks number 2. This is the breaking barracks team now. They're gonna put down the
Radiant's
Roche banner
top tower has fallen.
and apply a lot of pressure here. Remember, Centaur still dead for 15 seconds. Gunnar does have buyback, but I think you just give this up surely.
With 12 important
Although,
vitamins and
really
the
scored on
sounds
this.
of begging are coming from Radiant's top barracks.
But they will still give it up, it
Radiant's
seems.
top
Yeah, BB
barracks
team have just
fallen.
really. It's been really
Radiant's top
impressive to
barracks
watch in this
are
game
top
how
barracks for the Radiant.
a part of the game that I think both the panel as well as us thought was going to be the hardest one, Nouns did a relatively good job at handling, and then BB team just really kicked it up a notch and completely. These last 10 minutes, they have just run the whole show. So the timing maybe came 4 or 5 minutes later than expected, but the ultimate result, unless Nouns can somehow pull a heroic comeback here, is going to be the same, which is just one more lane to go for those Megas. They still have the Aegis. BKB almost completed for Psycha. It's coming out now for the Invoker. So that's 2 new problems that Nouns have to face. And while they do have decent physical damage between the Razor and the Monkey King, I don't think it's going to be enough that they don't have to burn through their entire BKB durations themselves. And that's when Invoker is the king of the game.
Yeah.
This hero is, by many, considered to be the best hero in Dota, at least historically, when BKBs run out. Like, just the amount of control you have, you can completely dictate the fight with your arsenal of spells. And in a game like this, having max Wex for your Deafening Blast is amazing against 2 right-click cores. Ice Wall, of course, against chasing heroes, you name it. You know, they have the whole package. So Nouns, last-ditch effort coming up.
Yeah,
looking for
this
a
is
flank.
into an Aegis, mind you. They're heading towards the south, trying to backstab. Save would be a pretty decent pickoff. They're gonna run into Toronto Tokyo instead, and he's pretty damn hard to kill, not gonna lie. Spike Carrier is already used. There's a Wukong's command. Knifehold just casually walks out of it. Lelis and Gunnar super low as the roar goes off onto the Razor. And this is just getting out of control in favor of BB Team. Yuma, the BKB TP, will be successful, but the rest of his team are dropping like flies.
So we'll fly.
No pun intended on that one for once.
And speaking of bugs, let's kill the last one. I guess flies. You know,
Yeah, Lelis is dead to the hands of the Bumblebee team, and another buyback comes out, this time from Lelis, but I think the game just ends here, surely. For those mega creeps at the very least.
and they have to throw every buyback at them here. Centaur has to buy back too. They can't wait 15 seconds.
But the Aghanim Scepter, Cinderin, we need to see the workhorse.
We really don't.
The cart would change everything. They get the range racks. There's the initiation from Gunnar. Into the Gleipnir, but now Gunnar, he just melts, man. He just absolutely melts. Already with the beefy Centaur dead, this will be mega creeps for BB Team.
Radiant's bottom barracks have fallen.
They can just casually do whatever they want now.
And
oh, they actually, I think they broke the tree there, so Yuma stunned for an eternity, as GG's called. BB Team all over this game number 1.
yeah, they continue their streak against Nouns. As was talked about on the panel, these teams did meet in the first group stage, which was honestly the most one-sided game of the entire tournament, was that very first